Yes, I am your host, Kojo. Welcome to the 3inMidfield podcast. This is episode 235, which is a lot. So, as realized, YouTube is on in the background on my laptop, so it's just repeating what I was saying. That's a great start to the podcast. But anyway, as I said, I'm your host, Kojo. Cahill still not available at the moment, but he'll be back when he's ready to be back for sure. But I've been joined by four fantastic guests. It's been an active Premier League weekend. A lot of great results for some clubs, some other clubs not so great. But we'll get into that, of course. D-Man's already stressed.
Brother,
So we'll start there. D-Man, how you doing? How you doing, man? Explain to me how you doing.
You know what? If you'd asked me yesterday, I'd probably tell you depressed, bro. Probably depressed. But you know what? I'm not used to this losing feeling like you, man, bro. I'm not really used to it. So it's something I've got to get used to. But you know, it's a strange feeling. But listen, gutted, disappointing the result, but not necessarily the performance, which you can get into. But bigger fish to fry in this coming week. So, you know, got to dust ourselves off and go again. But I'm good, man. I'm good.
I know for a fact that's a lie because you spent time in the Championship, but we'll get to that.
Distant memory, man. Distant memory.
We'll introduce the co-host of the D&D Footy Factory with D-Man. That is Dubul Dee, LFCFC. What are you saying, bro?
All right, man. I'm not in the best of shape. I'm not very well, but you gave man the call from early, so I've been able to take some herbal remedies and get myself into some kind of gear, bro.
FSG syndrome, innit? FSG syndrome.
I mean, more nasally than usual, possibly, but you know, we're here.
No worries. Thank you for coming. For someone that is not having their club sold to someone that's had this club sold already, Theo, how you doing, bro?
Stress, man. I'm not even gonna lie, stress. That's the only word I can use right now, stress. But yeah, man, listen, it is what it is, isn't it? We'll get into it, but it's stress.
I hear that. I appreciate the honesty, man. Well, 3inMidfield is a therapy session. Someone that doesn't need therapy is 15 from the Trafford Tunnel podcast. You know what I'm saying? Because we're doing things. I'm saying we because obviously for everyone that listens, I'm a Man United fan.
Can you not skinning teeth though?
I can't be the only Man United fan here. I can't be always backing the team. So I'm gonna be
sabotage, isn't it?
How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. You know what? Like, life's treating me well, you know. Like, I can't complain, man. I can't complain. My man has got a plan.
Yeah, that's a different which side, bro.
You're looking sweet, bro. You're looking sweet.
Hey, I can't complain. You got to live life in the moment, you know. Like, that's all it is.
Listen.
Hey, he's not lying, man. You know what I'm saying? You have to develop in the moment, and the moment that he's in is in 3 points. But anyway, we'll get to that. Let's start the podcast. We'll start with. I'm sorry, Theo. We're gonna have to go Chelsea first, man. Let's get the pain out of the way for you.
Mad.
A lot of money spent this summer. Obviously, you have to join the team, of course. Graham Potter is your manager, but no one, and I say no one, in my humble opinion, expected Chelsea 0, Southampton 1 to be the final result at Stamford Bridge. A goal courtesy of the guy that's about to become the most prolific free kick goal scorer in the Premier League, James Ward-Prowse. Theo, where do we even begin, man? What is happening with the team so far? Is it just a lack of cohesion with the players? Is Graham Potter just struggling to do his job? What is your perspective so far, and especially from this game in itself?
I think it's a mixture of things. I think obviously coming in when you've got all these things to deal with, new players coming in, Rudiger leaving, that was a big loss. But you replace him with Koulibaly, Badiashile. You brought in players. There's no excuses. Like, I'll be honest, I can't even give you reasons as to why we're playing so bad. There's no excuses. And I think a lot of that is split between the players and the manager. Obviously, the manager now clearly doesn't look like he's up to the job. And you can't use the excuses anymore that Reece James is injured, Ben Chilwell's injured, because they came back and he had Reece James sitting in his Averex looking jacket in the stands on Saturday. So you tell me, do you know what I mean? And the worst thing about Potter that we know from when he was at Brighton, he loved to use the three centre-backs. The wing-backs used to be the key for his football, and that's how his style of play was, use the wing-backs. You could have done that on Saturday. You need 3 points. You're playing the bottom of the league, Southampton, who do not have a manager. You're under the cosh. Your job that you just got into a couple of months ago, you've just spent 300 million, and you're resting players, and then you give them 2 days off afterwards. That's criminal. That's criminal, man. You can't do that. You can't do that. So
I mean,
you can't do that. You can't even defend them. Don't defend them.
okay, I was gonna. But okay, it might sound like a defense, but watching that game, it did seem like you were genuinely unlucky on this occasion because you had a lot of chances that were blocked off the line, that were being blocked by last minute challenges and all that stuff. It looked like Sterling came off the bench and was on it. He was beating players, slipping balls in. He was having chances. You haven't been blocked. On this occasion, can you call it a case of bad luck, or is this just an accumulation?
This has been bad luck since he took the job on. And problem with us, the problem with us, we've spent all this money and we still haven't addressed the elephant in the room, that we haven't replaced Diogo Costa. So when you haven't got a striker, you can
bury those chances.
Yeah, you don't miss them. It's not Havertz 1 in 10. You don't give Havertz 10 chances and he misses all of them. When you got Costa or you got Drogba, even Fofana, when he started the game, I thought he played really well Saturday. I was impressed with him. And then to get him subbed off at the half-time for no reason, wasn't injured. You just want to try and change things tactically. It doesn't even make sense what he's doing. And now he's losing the players. The fans booed him off at half-time. They booed him at the end of the game. But here's the problem. You can't sack him because he's on a 5-year deal and he's on 12 million a year. So if you sack him, who are you bringing in? That's the first question. Who's coming in to take over the mess? You got to pay him. All the coaching staff and the players, that the medical staff, all them people he brought from Brighton, they're going to go with him. So you're talking 100 million. You just spent 600 million on players. You can't you got to be doing better. Southampton, bottom of the league, Southampton. Come on, man. It's bad. It's bad. We're 11 points off safety. I'm not saying we're going to get relegated, but what I'll say is the teams below us, and I said this on my own podcast, they're fighting for points. And they're going to come to Stamford Bridge, or we're going to go to their ground, and they're going to think this is an easy 3 points. This is an easy picking, and this is the time when we can take points off Chelsea. And we've seen it. We've seen it with clubs now. We've seen it with Southampton. It was a good free kick. You can't fault James Ward-Prowse, but at the same time as well, it's the manner that we're losing these games. It's not the fact we're losing them, it's how we lose them. I said that all along, and you got to give him the time now. You can't sack him. Sack him and bring in who? Enrique, Pochettino, Zidane. They're not going to come to that mess.
Apparently, Mourinho wants a job again for the third time. What are you saying?
I wouldn't even bring him in.
No.
For one reason, we've signed all these youngsters, and one thing Mourinho isn't known for is getting the best out of youngsters. His time at Chelsea anyway, I can't really speak about Roma. I think he's doing all right there with some of the youngsters he's brought through. But at Chelsea, he got rid of all the youngsters because he didn't want them. And he would clash with the owner, which is why Tuchel left. So you got to bring someone in that's a yes man, that's going to say yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full, and bow when he walks in the room. So, and that's Potter. That's why he's in the job, because they can dictate what they told him that he can't pick Aubameyang for the Champions League squad. Do you get what I'm saying? The man's it's his money, of course, but if he can't even choose who's in his 23 or whatever his squad for the Champions League, and you need a striker in the squad, what's that telling you about everything? The club's a mess, man. It's a complete mess.
Is mad.
Stress
insane.
FC, man. I'm sorry, but
It's
going to get worse. It's going to get worse before it gets better at Chelsea. And Chelsea fans, you know what they're like. And I ain't talking about the ones that look like me. I'm talking about the other ones. So you know it's going to get messy with them. So yeah.
How much blame do you actually put on? Like, obviously you said you need a striker. That's obviously not Potter's, because you got like a sporting director and whatnot. Yeah. How much blame does a sporting director get? Because you spent on a centre back, left back, whatever. You spent on like 2 wingers. You basically brought in like a whole army of players, yeah. And you haven't brought in a 6. And you haven't brought in a striker. So like how much of it is on the sporting director's like on his or her part rather than Potter, because I'm sure Potter probably didn't want half of these players. Truth be told, so how where does the blame lie?
It's tricky because Potter came in first. Potter came in first, then the hierarchy was built afterwards.
Yeah.
So we done it backwards. What we should have done was get everyone in first, or you keep the old hierarchy, the old regime, keep them in for 6 months.
Yeah.
Then you say, listen, this is a transitional period. You like stay for 6 months or 12 months, and then we're going to phase you out, bring someone else in. We didn't do that. We brought in the manager first.
Yeah.
And Boehly was running around. Remember in the summer, he was flying to Barcelona trying to secure having breakfast and lunch and all that stupidness. And he was doing all of that. Yeah. And then we got Potter in, and then we sorted everything else out afterwards. So they take a bit of the blame because we had another window since the January one.
Yeah.
You can't sign a striker in January.
Haven't you signed Nkuku? Ain't he coming in the summer? So that's probably why you're not trying to.
He's not a traditional nine though.
It's true.
For me,
it's true.
For me, it just seems like there's a disconnect between like the manager and the people upstairs, because I don't really see, like, I know people that say there's a vision, but I don't really see a vision. It just seems like they're just throwing money at whoever and then hoping someone comes good.
Trust the process is what I'm being told, but you can't trust the process if there ain't no trust and there ain't no process. And for me personally, for someone like him, for Potter, he has to show you something, and the players as well. They got to take the blame, but there's got to be joined up more cohesion with the players and the manager to show you something to trust. And if you ain't seeing that, you can't trust a process that you can't see visibly on a Saturday or whatever day it is. That can't,
you know what it is?
Work.
I think Potter he's tactically astute, right? But when you look at him on the sideline, he looks like
mute.
Yes, he just looks lost, and he's dealing with big men, and he just doesn't exude that confidence that they need to lead them on the field. I think tactically he's got it right, but to get that across his players and have them, execute that to a T, and when it's going wrong, I don't think he has that kind of presence. When you see Klopp or even Arteta or Guardiola on the sideline, them players are following his instructions or else. With the Chelsea players, it just seems like, all right, it's going in one and out the other, and he can't do anything to command the respect of the players. That's what it comes across.
And that's what it. Sorry, Kojo, but that's what it is on the training ground as well. Like, he's apparently not even visible on the training ground most time. It's other, and that happens a lot across a lot of other clubs. But when you're new into the job, you're trying to assess your team. You're trying to pick out who's this, that, the other, and you want to pick a nice 11 that's consistent. How are you doing that if you're talking in Cobham somewhere else? You have to be on the pitch with them, visually seeing what they're doing. Because on Saturday, when you're picking a team, you're just picking names out of a hat. Because you don't know who's your best players. You don't know who to play where.
Well, then that does bring the question. Dubul Dee, I want you to answer this one. This can go for mostly Chelsea or any other club. If your owner comes in and just buys a whole load of players that, we know he's good at finding talent. Brighton have continued that. They found more talent whilst he's been gone as well. But, you're talking about Badiashile and Koulibaly, and then Enzo Fernandez is coming in, and Mudryk is coming in, and this guy's coming in. João Felix coming in on a loan, which just came out the blue as well. Like, if you're the manager in a situation like this, and we've seen this in the past, especially with Real Madrid when they were doing their stupid Galactical eras, can much blame be left at the manager, considering that, one, he has to keep a whole boat of players happy, two, there's probably, I say maybe let's go about 50% of players that probably can't play the style of football that he's looking to play, and three, even though we know he's a good manager here on this level of our country, he was Brighton manager. So how big was his reputation, and how much how hard work does he have to do to build the trust, as Theo was saying, of the players, bringing these guys in? Do you think you just put him in a very tough position where he just can't win?
Yeah, exactly. He's kind of fighting a losing battle from the start in regards to, obviously, there's not much. It's a great story for up and coming managers, but in terms of the fact that, as bad as Chelsea have been in certain seasons in the last 20 years, they always still manage to make a cup final, for instance. They always do stuff like people that, if you look at it on paper, you'll think, nah, this is bad, sacking this manager, letting this manager go. But they've been successful at doing it. This one here is very like, it's a typical kind of an appointment in American sports. Potter's not necessarily young because he's in his late 40s, but it's like, yeah, get that guy, that up and coming guy, and then bring him to your franchise and do whatever. So it's not worked out great so far. You can clearly see that, obviously, as Theo's already said, he didn't want all these players that have been brought in because some of them not necessarily fit his system. Enzo, we've seen enough in a couple of games to see that he can do something. I thought Ward-Prowse looked kind of lively against West Ham, cutting off of the right, cutting in, having some, but it's kind of trial and error. So he needs to be given time because there's so many. I've liked what I've seen of Fofana so far, so I have no idea why he was taken off, but it's trial and error, and there's players out injured as well that are going to come back. So it might take till literally near the end of the season for him to figure out what his best team is.
Remember, he also hasn't had a pre-season. He hasn't had a pre-season. So, judge him after.
Pre-season is going to be very interesting in knowing what they're going to do more transfer business in the summer anyway. That's going to be very fast for him. Let's move on for Chelsea for a second because they were the losers of the game. We have to get on to the winners. 15, I want to ask you, number one, why on earth can they not defend like this on a weekly basis? And number two, James Ward-Prowse, and after you answer the question, everyone else can give an answer as well. Where does he rank? And you'd have to give me a direct number. It can be top 5, top 10, something like that. Where would he rank in your all-time free kick takers? Because at this point, if he's touching David Beckham's record,
not just Prem. Not just Prem.
I'm saying that because David Beckham is known as a prime free kick taker, one of the best, right? And I'm not trying to say that he is David Beckham. I'm not bringing that discussion, especially me. David Beckham's my hero, so as far as I'm concerned, duck out. But the question needs to be asked: if he does overtake David Beckham's record, there's going to be another discussion as to who the best free kick taker in Premier League history is. It's going to happen, whether you like it or not. It's going to happen.
If he's 27 at their level, he's going to break
exactly. You know what I'm saying? So if you're talking about all time now, and considering how good he is at dead set pieces and all that stuff, dead ball situations. That's a word. Where would you rank him? Where does he go? Top 5, top 10, top 50?
What are we talking about? Prem only.
You can do Prem and all time if you want. You can do both.
Prem. Do you know what? Yeah, it might sound knee jerk, but I think it's gonna be number one. And I just say that because you see when Ward-Prowse is in distance here, everyone is shitting themselves. If he's not scoring, he's making a keeper work. And I'm not saying that Dave Beckham didn't always do that, but I feel like sometimes when Beckham took free kicks, it was just not necessarily making the keeper work. It might just sail over the bar or go wide or whatnot. But with Ward-Prowse, listen, he's a sniper. He's a sniper. And when he zeroes in, it's long. I'll be honest here, when that situation occurred, I bet you all the Southampton players was telling the ref, don't play the advantage. Do not play the advantage. You want the free kick. When I saw it, when I saw it play, I was saying to myself, take the free kick, because I knew it was gonna happen. And he's just ridiculous, man. His technique and what the amount of goals he scores from set pieces, and it's if he's deep it as well, it's the range as well. Sometimes it's 30 yards, 35 yards. Was it early this season where he just whacked one? No, wait, was it last season where he would just whack one from long distance? He just ran and just smashed it. So he's got variation. It's not just necessarily an instep thing. If he wants to put his foot through it, he can do it. So for me, I think he's number one, man. He's ridiculous. And in terms of I don't know much about the manager, but he's there's an aura about him. He's got the turtleneck, he's got the suit. He's very. Do you know what I mean? It's like you don't want to get on his bad side. The prior managers like Nathan Jones, he had no aura about him whatsoever. He was talking about pound for pound being the best whilst managing Luton. He was talking about saying he's going to go back to doing things his way. why didn't he do things his way when he came in? Like, why is he compromising? Like, you're not going to get anywhere. The moment players sniff weakness, they're going to take advantage. Like, they're going to take advantage of you. They're not kids. They're big men. They're grown men. They're millionaires. Do you know what I mean? So this manager looks like he's got stuck in between, like going into the players, and just told them, look, it's sink or swim. Like, do you want to be Premier League footballers, or do you want to play in the Championship? And it seems like they've answered the call. And I saw the second half. I didn't watch the first half. And listen, when you're defending for your lives, you got to do what you got to do, man. I mean, they want quality as well. Let's not forget, like, Lavia was amazing. Obviously, Salisu, as we know. Maitland-Niles has come back into the fold as well. He seemed like he wasn't playing too much. And obviously you got Ward-Prowse. So yeah.
Absolutely. Dubul Dee. Free kicks. Premier League. And dare I say all the time, you're on mute. Dubul Dee, you're on mute. There you go.
Goodness me, he summed it up properly there. In terms of the variation, because there was that one away at Wolves, I think just before the World Cup.
Yeah, no, he smashed it.
He just smashed it. He just smashed it top bins, and you need to celebrate because he said in the post-game interview, he said that he's been doing that all week in training, so he knew if he got one day, he was going to put it top bin. So yeah, at the moment, you have to put him. For me, I've got no problem with him being putting him number one, because we all know how great Beckham was, but him being at such a dominant team meant that he would get a plethora of free kicks. And we saw what he did with them. Ward-Prowse won't get as many being at Southampton, and he's just done his thing, and he's continuing. As I said, only 27. That record's getting broken this season. Hopefully, don't do it against Liverpool. But that record's getting broken this season. So I've got no real problem with him putting number one. It's just like, even that was because the Chelsea wall jumped on Saturday, man, and from that distance to get up and over the wall. So he's full ratings. So yeah, Prem 1 all time. Yeah, in world and whatnot. Oh, I don't know. That's why I was asking you what just Prem, because we've seen what Messi's been doing. Cristiano back in the day, but the last 8-9 years we've seen.
Yeah, that was back in the day, man. That stopped.
Don't forget
Janine Pernambucano,
yeah. Marcos Asensio. Like, there's some guys that used to take some quality free kicks. So if we take it on a world level, then there's still some way to go. But he could be top. He could be top 10 more. But Prem, one. It's not just all kinds of free kicks under the wall, bending it up and over the wall, bending it around the wall. There was the one a few seasons ago. United beat Southampton 3-2 at their grounds. Cavani. That one when Cavani and whatnot. And the free kick was there. Like, the angle of the box was there. It was proper wide. And he bent it near post. And De Gea dived late thinking he got a score from here and ended up pushing it into the goal. Like, he scores all types of free kicks. He's a savage, man. But I have no problem putting him number one, to be perfectly honest.
Fair enough. Dubul Dee, before we move on from you, just a message here from Stel. Dubul Dee's on mute, much like his FPL team this season. That's crazy.
Hey, Stel, don't make me call HR, boy.
That's crazy. Oh, by the way, I beat Darren T in this week's head to head. So shout out Darren T. D-Man. D-Man. Is he touching Messi levels of free kicks?
Are you mad? Listen, no. Slow down. No. In terms of Prem, he can be. Yeah, I suppose once he breaks the record, I don't know. Beckham seemed to be better at high pressure penalties and executing them. And what annoyed me about Ward-Prowse the other day, who did they play and they could have got a point, or Wolves, was it?
Oh, when he passed it.
And he bottled it, bruv.
Yeah,
he bottled it. Like, to me, you're not a serious guy. If this is your stage, yeah?
You know, the other day when they played, Pero scored in it was a cup game.
Yeah.
Perez free kick. That's why he let him take that one.
No. He passed it. He didn't even take. He passed it to the guy to cross it. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yes, yeah.
brother, like it's to me that's and
He played the
but
short
then
one, yeah.
yeah, but numbers wise, yeah, you know what, and he will score a lot more than once he breaks the record. He'll score a lot more. He'll end up like, and that will take time to get beaten. In terms of the world, no, he's not top 5 on that. Like obviously, current now, I still have Messi as the best current free kick taker who's currently playing. And I would put Beckham above him on a world stage because until he takes a penalty free kick like Beckham did against, was it Greece?
Greece,
That high pressure. Yeah. No one ain't taking high pressure penalty free kicks like that. Yeah,
well,
like
he ain't anyway. To be fair to him, he does play for Southampton, so that's a bit sticky.
I'm gonna say he probably won't get the chance. He probably won't get the chance.
The team that he's playing for, so we can only go on what we've seen. That's why
I
that's fair. That in comparison with my Beckham comparison, to double it like Man United, it's gonna be free kick. Get me?
But listen, I don't watch James Ward-Prowse that much, apart from his his dead ball situations and that. But other than free kicks and penalties, is he actually a good player?
Yeah, you know what? That's a discussion that we're not gonna do that right now because listen,
I was gonna ask that though. I was gonna ask what you thought about him, but
I really don't want to get started on him.
I'm Team Zaha anyway.
Theo, number 1 for you in the Premier League at least, or number 2?
Well, I think he's got to be in the conversation if he breaks the record, but I think he's gonna surpass the record, and I think he's easily. D-Man just said penalty a couple of times. You may as well make it a penalty when he's got a free kick because it's, do you know what I mean? It is that kind of dead ball specialist. So yeah, I think he's up there. I don't know if he's number 1 without going back and thinking properly. He's up there. I liked Ian Hart. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I can go back that far, man. I liked him on the free kicks, man. But he's up there, 100%, 100.
Why not? Okay, before we go into the next game, let's quickly get through some others. Brentford 1, Crystal Palace 1. Apparently, Crystal Palace don't know how to win games still, and they're going to finish 13th as they usually do. Shout Jan out for the last-minute equaliser at Brentford Stadium, the G-Tech. Brighton went back to the Potter days. Shout out Graham Potter, as they had a lot of chances and bottled all of them. Solomon had Fulham's first meaningful shot a goal, and it went in. Shout out for anyone that has Robert Sanchez as a goalkeeper on FPL. Melia, probably the worst goalkeeper performance of a lifetime, and I say that because his positioning was absolutely a shock to me, and I think everybody else as a Leeds fan, as Seamus Coleman, could not believe his luck as he tucked it in from the right wing for absolutely no reason why. I'm not gonna lie. I think he's trying to cross it and he's just here and he's like, yeah, that's my luck. By the way, he tried to cross it to nobody, so that shouts out Everton for that season. Wolves 0, Bournemouth 1. We'll move on from that. So we'll go to Arsenal. Arsenal went to Aston Villa and they came away 4-2 winners. Dare I say, with a big slice of luck. As Jorginho's shot that hit the bar came back and hit the big head of Emiliano Martinez. Mark, we'll start with you again. Luck is usually what you need to win titles. We know quality does get you so far, but you also need luck. And we can vote. Actually, we'll put City's result in this as well, as they drew 1-1. They had no luck, as Haaland was producing the finishing of certain French players that have left the Premier League whilst apparently scoring goals again in League 1. No names. Where do you think this title race is heading? Because if City keep dropping points, silly points, away from home, are we looking at Arsenal as potential champions?
First of all, you create your own luck, innit? Like, to be fair, Arsenal were knocking on the door in the second half for ages. Like, I think in the first half, Villa played well, but they just ran out of steam. But you create your own luck. Like, Martinez was wasting time from minute 1, or whatever it was. Like, he was just wasting time from early. Arsenal let Villa off the hook with the Odegaard chance. So the chances, the signs were there. Like, even from like the corners where they were playing, they kept having like someone hanging around like the edge of the box, and Villa weren't picking it up. So like the signs were there, but I don't know. It's a weird one because the way things are, like, I wouldn't be surprised if like Arsenal went to Leicester next week and drop points. So the thing is though that Man City don't look good. Like usually this time of year, like Man City will go on like a 10-game winning streak of like 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, and like not conceding any shots on goal. But this Man City side just look tired. They just look tired. They don't look energized. They just look bored. I don't know if that's even the right word. Like they just there isn't a spark about them. Like I watched them against Forest, and Haaland missed chances. Foden's chance was laughable. I mean, the lack of killer instinct in that side, even though you've got so much talent, is ridiculous, man. It's weird because I feel like when I'm watching City, their best player is probably like the most criticized player, and Jack Grealish right about now, he's like their most informed player. And even then, he's still not providing what's needed to get over that line. So it's a weird one, man. I think they definitely need a shake-up. But I definitely feel there's more twists and turns in the title race, man. I think Arsenal still got to face Chelsea, Liverpool, City again. Not Newcastle. Do they? Yeah. Newcastle? Newcastle.
At St. James's, yep.
Yeah.
Have they still got Tottenham as well? Am I right in saying that?
No, they played Tottenham twice.
They
They played Tottenham
Twice.
twice.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
Who else they still got to play? Fulham maybe away.
Okay.
I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like they played majority of like the bottom half side, so it's gonna be a tough one. But if Arsenal do get through that, then they obviously deserve to win a title.
Absolutely. And Theo, we'll discuss City as we go back before we go to Arsenal. 15 mentioned the part about the fact that Grealish is their most influential player at the moment, but it seems like he's not even hitting. Don't know what happened there. He's not hitting the heights that you'd hope for from him. But I also want to pose this question. And before I say this, anyone that's listening, it's not a criticism of Erling Haaland, but questions can be asked. There was this discussion brought up, especially with Thierry Henry recently. A video came out on CBS where he was mentioning what Haaland could possibly do more for the team, and if the team is working for him or if he's working with the team as well. He scored obviously a boatload of Premier League goals already, but it seemed to have slowed all the way down compared to the speed of goals that are coming at the beginning of the season. Do you think it's either a case of City are not finding ways to feed him as much anymore, or, I mean, it could be the same thing, but number two being, are teams finding a way to now stop or minimalize rather the Haaland threat? Is that's what's happening in the Premier League right now?
I think so, yeah. I think you look back to the old City or the City of recent, they had that lovely front three that was all intricate and would swap and change and move around. And I feel like they've lost that now. I feel like they get the ball, Haaland's looking for the ball. And I mean, we've heard the rumours that obviously there's a bit of disrupt at the club and things are going on behind the scenes and this and that. But I think a lot of it now, they're looking for Haaland. And, if he's there, I think he makes some good runs. I think he's in the right spaces more time than not. So he's doing everything he can do, I think. I haven't seen that Henry clip, I don't think. But he's doing what he can do to get the ball, receive the ball and do what he can do with it. And in all honesty, that's all I want from my striker. I don't want him to be dropping deep like Harry Kane does most times. And I don't think Pep wants his team to be doing that. He doesn't want his striker dropping deep into midfield and recovering the ball and bringing it through. I think he wants him to be there as the guy that puts the ball in the back of the net. But it's a tricky one with City. I feel that when I watch them, sometimes they still mesmerize me. I still think they're a good team. And then sometimes I watch them and I think, bro, like, is that what you man are doing? Is that what you're doing? But I think someone just said, I can't remember who said it now, they're tired. They're tired. Yeah. They are tired. You can see it in them. They're tired. And you got to remember the work rate of City as well. What Pep wants you to do for 90 minutes. I know they're professionals, but if you're doing that week in, week out, you're all going to get tired. But in terms of Haaland, I think he's doing everything he can at the moment. And I think it's a case of clubs, teams are finding out a way to minimize him or to stop that final through pass to him. And it's working. You're seeing that a lot over the last couple of games. So But I think as well, I'm sure for Dortmund, he done the same. He was. I know he's prolific over there, but he has peaks and troughs over there as well. So it's the same thing here, and it's probably harder to play here as well. So it's going to happen. It's going to happen to him a lot as well, and they have to keep him injury free. That's another thing that is a worry for City. He hasn't got the best injury record as well, so they've got to be careful of that one.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's cool.
Sorry to cut you off, but when I do watch City, I feel like he makes some really like when City play. It's like they're just choosing not to find him. Like he makes so.
That's it, man.
I remember like the first game of the season where they played, not the first game, the community shield. They played Liverpool, and Liverpool played this ridiculous high line, and they just kept playing this sort of sours. Everything was going sideways and whatnot. And it's like it's not hard to play the ball forward. It's really not hard to play the ball forward. But yeah, it's like they just choose not before they choose to play the extra pass. And when you've got someone like Haaland, it's similar to sort of like, I know it's like we're not talking about Man United, but it's sort of like using like Rashford when he plays now. You just got to play the early pass. Like the moment you get on a half turn and he's on the shoulder, you just got to play in space because when teams are high and they've got so much space in behind, 9 times out of 10, Haaland's going to beat most defenders with pace and strength. But I just feel like City are choosing not to sort of play that pass, man, that extra pass. So yeah.
D-man?
You know what? Yeah. I was going to say, first of all, with City, I think me and Dubul Dee called it. As soon as they signed Haaland, we called it. We said how, because my brother was saying how, they're going to bully the lead, they're going to do this. And we say, well, their side of play is going to change immediately. Yeah, because you've got, City used to play with 11 men, including Ederson, moving around. Like you didn't know who was going to score the goals, who was going to play the final pass, whatever. They could interchange, like you said. Yeah. Now they've got a focal point, and they're gonna now absorb more pressure because Haaland doesn't press like that. Yeah, they used to all press in one cohesive unit. City are going to give teams more possession, right? So they're going to have to defend deeper. Now, it's still the case of City have never been great defensively, but they just limit the chances that you have. But you have to be clinical. If you're clinical, you get a result. Yeah. Right. What's happening now, though, is that Haaland, everyone knew he was a goal scoring machine, but when he was still an unknown entity in the Prem, so people didn't know, how to figure him out, whatever. They still can't stop him, but what they're doing is cutting off the supply chain. Yeah, if you cut off the supply chain, when he has 0 touches in a game or in a box, whatever, you've limited him. Yeah, you basically figured him out. So in that respect, I know someone made this point about feed him the ball because he's making these good runs, which is true, but I don't know if it was Henri that said it as well, but only Kevin De Bruyne can play these certain passes, yeah, like willy-nilly, right? People like Bernardo Silva need an extra touch, yeah? Because what you're seeing is Haaland will be on the last man, and he immediately, as soon as the attacker gets the ball, he's off. De Bruyne can play that first-time pass, yeah, like Fernandes can do to Rashford, yeah? But take a Bernardo Silva or a Jack Grealish, especially Grealish, who holds up the play way more than he needs to. You need to basically adapt to him a little bit. So you need to okay, Jack needs 2 or 3 touches before I make that run. Let him get the ball, then make the run. But he's doing it straight away, thinking that it's De Bruyne that's going to pass it to him. So it's a case of them getting used to each other, which is going to take more than half a season to get right. When it clicks, it's good. But there's going to be times where it's not as effective. So they've got to adapt to each other. Now, the worrying thing for City is that when I saw that Forest equalise against City, I thought, it's a typical come from the set piece, a corner, because I heard Chris Wood scored, right? Yeah. I only saw it today. They basically were City against City. The way they cut through City's press was embarrassing. And if that's how City are going to defend, they're not winning no title. Because a team like Nottingham Forest, no respect to Forest, but they're not Arsenal, they're not Liverpool. If you can cut through City's press as easily like that, it's concerning. It's very concerning. So they do need to back up their ideas. I don't think they're taking Arsenal as seriously as if it was Liverpool. Yeah, they still think, it's Arsenal, they're going to have their crumble. But Arsenal may have already had their crumble now. Yeah, and they could probably... And I still tip Arsenal to win the league now. Because I think they're going to carry on. They're going to drop points. But I think everyone's expecting City to go on this 10-game run. This was the City of last season. It's a different, it's a weird season this season as well. Remember that. We had the World Cup, whatever. You said about tired legs. there's no guarantee that they're gonna go on this long 10-game run. And I don't think they will. They may go on a 5 or 6-game run. 10, I don't think they can do it. I don't think they, at this present time, I don't think they can do it. So they need to be very careful, or otherwise that gap is going to increase, and Arsenal not going to let it slip another time. So a lot of work to do.
Double is this
D, what you say, Brendan Johnson moving like Prime Hazard? Yeah. Man set the hot dogs in that run, bro.
Double. In that case, do you think it's a case of Pep potentially underestimating Arsenal, as D-Man said? Because I think, if I'm being deadly serious, I don't think he sells Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko to Arsenal if he sees Arsenal as a threat. I think he didn't expect Arteta to get this good this quickly. Something could change. We know it's football. We've seen crazier things happen. 12-point leads be lost in the past and all that stuff. It does happen. But has he underestimated his opponent? And on the point that D-Man's made, does he look at them and say, "You're not Liverpool, you're not Klopp"? So as far as I'm concerned, at some point you're gonna because some of the things that Pepper said this season doesn't sound like a guy that's confident anymore that his team can go on and challenge for the title.
Exactly. I think definitely there's some complacency. Some have suggested it. I remember even not always the most reliable person to go to, but Paul Merson was saying, look, he said that it's not Liverpool chasing them. I don't know if you know some of the other guys. He said, look, it's not Liverpool. He said it's not Liverpool chasing them. He said it's Arsenal. And he was basically saying that will play, and even Dee's insinuating as well, that will play into Arsenal's hands, because he's thinking that, yeah, they're going to drop off, they're going to drop points. But Arsenal showing backbone this season. They're getting win. If anything, they look more likely to win their away games, Arsenal, than their home games. And the home fans are loud now, so that's strange. But they struggle to keep clean sheets at home. I think they've only had 2, and one of them was in the draw against Newcastle. But yeah, Dee said a lot of what I was saying even before the season started in terms of City adjusting. But Theo will know, being a Chelsea fan, once you get that adjustment in, Haaland's making them runs and blowing off. Lampard was the king of reading the situation and clipping the balls over the top into space for Drogba to run onto. It doesn't always have to be to feet, but City are so used to playing the ball into feet. It's crazy that we can be so critical of it, because Haaland scored so many goals, but he could have got more if there's just an understanding there, and he's getting angry. I remember he'd even scored against Wolves earlier on in the season, and then at halftime he was cussing them because he was basically saying, I don't know if you saw that, like he was like, I'm running there, like, can you give me the ball? Like, I'm off. So they need to sort that out. So this is why this is Arsenal's window. They have to and capitalize on this window for it. But it will come. It will come. It might not be too early next season. They've still got enough to get by. But as everybody has literally said so far, City used to play last season before, and they might get 3 or 4. Like, well, Watford aren't in the Premier League, but away at Watford, will go to this team, and you don't know who's going to score the goals. Now you basically know it's going to be Haaland. It used to be before Mahrez. Mahrez has been good recently. Mahrez will chip in with a couple. Sterling hat-trick here. Defenders getting goals and whatnot. They're not getting that variation amongst the goal scorers no more. Like, some of those misses were scandalous. Haaland should have scored the first one from the rebound, came back out, then he's blasted it over. The Foden one that Foden should have shot himself. Why are you trying to play it to hard? I just don't know. But like, yeah, the worrying thing is the defense, because Brendan Johnson was allowed to carry the ball way too far. He's played it to Gibbs like nice ball, and they left Chris Wood unmarked at the back post. So at the moment, it's looking like Arsenal are going to do it, but we'll see. But yeah, City, it's a transitional period. So with City, Liverpool, so many teams not firing. Arsenal taking advantage of that at the moment. But yeah, I don't know. I don't feel that invincibility about City that I've got in previous seasons. And since I don't like Arsenal, no more, I don't like City either, but like, I've got a hatred for Arsenal from being little. I'm really not pleased about it, but it is what it is. You know, it is what it is.
Absolutely. We'll go before we come to the D&D Football Factory derby. we'll quickly go to Sunday. Spurs beat West Ham 2-0. I mean, Spurs do Spurs things. They beat Man City one week, get slapped by Leicester the next week, and then go and beat West Ham the following week. So, but shout out Ben Davies for having a better first touch than Romelu Lukaku as he set up Emerson Royale, and shout out Son for scoring his 5th goal of the season. Nothing to say there. But Tottenham win, and somehow Tottenham, who are very...
Hey, how did you do Emerson Royal like that? That's the best game he's had in the Tottenham shirt.
Hey, no, listen, big up him. But hey, man, they still call him Chicken Royale. So until that stops, he has to run for joke. But Tottenham, inconsistent as ever, but still somehow have entered the top 4. Obviously, Newcastle have the game in hand on them, so they can drop out immediately if Newcastle win that game in hand. But we'll go to the other team that played on Sunday. That was Manchester United versus Leicester. Man United are 3-0 winners. Marcus Rashford continues to bag goals as he added 2 more to his tally for the season. I think he's now got 24 for the season as well, actually, in all competitions so far. And the rebirth of Jadon Sancho continues as he got another goal as he came off the bench and contributed to it being a 3-0 win over Leicester. But Mark, 15, we'll come to you first as a United fan. We all know the game didn't start like that, and it looked like it was going to go the other way. Leicester started a lot better. Fred decided to be Fred for a little bit before he decided to not be Fred and actually play well. But how are you feeling after the game? What was your thoughts on United's performance?
It's a weird one because the first 5 minutes we pinned them back for like the first 5 minutes, but it's like once they rolled that wave, it was like Leicester was like, okay, we've shaken it off. Like let's come out and let's play our thing. And what I will say about Leicester is like, no matter how badly they are, like no matter how badly they're placed in the table, they're always going to carry an attacking threat. Like they're just one of those weird sides where they could be bottom of the league, they can still go to like the top team and beat them because they're just weird like that. Like they just depending on how they wake up. But for about 25 minutes, they absolutely pammed us. As in, like they had the freedom of Old Trafford for about 25 minutes. If it wasn't for David De Gea, it would be like 2-0 down. And I'm surprised David De Gea made those saves because you just don't know what you're gonna get with David De Gea now. I mean, we saw against Everton in the FA Cup, like he got nutmegged by a ball that was in the air. I don't know how that's even possible. But yeah. So De Gea made 2 brilliant saves, and again, like we just seem to do this thing where like we get sort of like battle ready, like we sort of like draw our swords, like we get this like siege mentality where we're just like thou shalt not pass, like you're not gonna score. And once we draw on that, like we look for moments in quality. So like Bruno Fernandes again, I know he splits the fan base with a sort of like his ability to retain the ball and sometimes his ability to go from 0 to 100. But again, he picked up a great pass for Rashford, who's arguably the most informed player in Europe right about now. And such as Rashford's confidence, he could have squared it to whoever it was. He didn't. He just smashed it into the bottom corner. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's 1-0. I can't remember the second goal, to be fair. Oh, it was the offside one, isn't it? The Fred pass. And
was he offside?
No, he wasn't. Because VAR said no. So he wasn't offside.
Okay, say no more. All right. I'm happy with that. The other guys don't seem like they're happy with that, but I'm happy with that. So please continue.
They brought out the lines, they brought out the rulers, centimeters, millimeters, whatever. Green light. So
there you go.
That's what I have to say. But like I said, Fred, I posed this question the other day, and I said, I think we played against Barcelona. In the first half, he was pony. The second half, he was class. So I posed the question, was that a masterclass or a disaster class? And everyone just came back and said, that's Fred being Fred. That's a Fred out of 10. So,
yeah.
Fred being Fred played a quality pass to Rashford. And I think that's where Rashford's at his best, when he can run in behind, like attack the space. And again, when him being in that form as well, he never looked like he was going to miss. And after that, it just seemed like it was just party time. I mean, Sancho came on, grabbed his goal. He even played the number 10 role, which is interesting because a lot of United fans do see his future there. Me personally, I don't see his future there, but I can see why they see his future there. Like he's brilliant at retaining the ball. He's he's clever. He's not like sort of like a lot of these new generation footballers where they're just sort of like running down the line and whipping it across, or like an inside forward. He's very much a combination player. So one touch here, like bounce, pass and move and whatnot. So I do understand why they see him as a number 10. But yeah, man, the second half was pretty much party time, man. The only negative for me was workhorse, and I say that in the sense where he could have had 3 or 4. He could have had 3 or 4, and it turned into a pity party where like everyone was trying to set him up, and he still couldn't score. Like we've got like important games to coming up. Like, we can't afford to sort of get into that mentality where like Oliver Twist. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you need to put those goals away, especially as our goal difference is rubbish. So we just need to be a bit more clinical. But other than that, no complaints.
Why not? Why not? Dubul Dee, our main eye in the title race.
Yeah. They are.
That's why I didn't ask you, because I knew you were saying no.
whether people like, because if you're expecting like, no, if you go on that the actual points of the table, the answer is yes. If I really think that Man United can win the league, the answer is no. But if you look at the table, they're close to City. If any team's going to catch Arsenal, it's Manchester City. So therefore, that means Man United are in it as well. You know what I'm saying? I still think out of those 3, though, United are the most prone to a random result. Like, as he said, the way Leicester were cutting through you guys, like the football section, I believe that can, and I believe that will be done to you on a few more occasions this season. But even if you don't turn up in certain games, if you beat the other teams, especially the ones in the lower half of the table, though obviously that's where Leicester are at the moment, you will accumulate enough points. And United, whether they're convincing ones or not, keeping clean sheets, whether it's been Luke Shaw playing as a left-sided centre-half or whatever, Sandro, after a shaky start, has had an outstanding season. So if they continue to beat those other teams, they will accumulate the points to be in the mix. So you have to say that they are, considering the amount of points that they have at the moment. I mean, can they do it? Don't know. I strongly doubt that. But they're improving, and that is the main thing. Like, it's after that defeat to Brentford, they've been really good. Apart from that other results, like getting beat by Villa and whatnot. So you have to say that they're in it.
Okay. D-Man, I know obviously Newcastle play Man United on Sunday in the Carabao Cup final. I was going to ask a question regarding Rashford, so I'll ask this question first, and then I'll top it up as well. From a Dash of Sports. Is Man United one Rashford injury away from a collapse? And I will ask the question: when you watch United and knowing that you've got them coming up next, other than Rashford, are there players that you, I don't know if the word is fear or you're wary of, rather? That's what I say. If Rashford isn't on form, do you look at other players and say these are the guys that can cause damage, or do you think United are literally looking at Rashford to just be the match winner all the time?
I think obviously Rashford, they're looking at him to be the main match winner. Are there other players that I'm wary of? Not really. I mean, to be honest, as much as Fernandes gets berated and stuff like that, he can pop up with an important goal here and there. Attacking wise, I can't really think. The only thing I'm kind of concerned is, because you mentioned Ward-Prowse, right?
Right.
He has to score sometime, yeah, or score again sometime, yeah. And it'll just be fitting against Newcastle, because usually the deadest strikers score they turn up against Newcastle. But realistically, what I'm interested in, really, because I genuinely believe after the first few minutes, if we can keep Rashford quiet for 5-10 minutes, I think we can do a job on him, like we did against Saka, like we did typically against most good forwards in the Prem. I think it's the midfield battle, Bruno versus Casemiro. Yeah, I think that will be the midfield where it will be won and lost kind of thing. I don't fear any of your players too much apart from Rashford. I fear Man United in terms of the form that they're in and the form that Newcastle's in. When the draw was made, I was more confident of us getting a result than now, because we've gone on a slump and you lot seem to be very consistent at the moment. And like I said, Rashford in the form of his life. So, but player for player, nah, I don't think there's other than Rashford. I don't think there's a player. I'm not saying you haven't got the better team, but I just don't think there's a player there that Newcastle be looking at like, we should be really wary of them. That's why I think they'll double up on Rashford and see what you lot can do. Double up on Rashford, frustrate Fernandes, and see what you've got other than that. I think that's what will be the game plan.
To be fair, I think answering the question before where it said United injury away from a collapse, whatever. I think the difference between now and maybe like earlier in the season is that United are creating more chances. Rashford's just getting on the end of them. Before it was just like we was relying on Rashford to make something happen. Now we're creating chances and Rashford just happens to be on the end of it. Like, so if it's not Rashford like on the end of it, then it's a Fernandes or a Garnacho. Do you know what I mean?
Garnacho's one,
someone else on the end of it. I think now we're creating a lot more chances than we were previously. I mean, even like Casemiro's chipping in with a few goals as well. Like, so, like, I don't think it's necessarily a case of if Rashford gets injured or United can't score goals no more. I just think where it comes from just changes.
Absolutely. And Theo, quickly on Leicester as well. What is going on? Leicester are not particularly safe. They are 14th. So even though they had two previous big wins, two games in which they scored 4 goals each, it was a much needed win because they've gone from 18 to 24 points, but they're still 3 points off the drop zone. Do you think Leicester are complacent enough to maybe be in this relegation battle towards the last day of the season?
It's a tough one. It's a tough one. I think Brendan Rodgers has got enough experience to not take Leicester down, if I'm honest. And I think there's been a lot of change at Leicester over the last couple of seasons as well. And I think they've just, again, a team that has been worked tirelessly, you know what I mean, over the last couple of seasons. So I think they'll be fine. I don't think they'll be in the race. I'm more concerned about my own club being down there, but yeah, I think Leicester. I think Leicester will be fine. I know they've gone on. I think they beat Tottenham and Villa. I think the last couple of weeks. So, and they've had some good performances. I thought they, like everyone said here, I thought they played the game yesterday really well. I thought Maddison was good. The whole team was good in that first sort of 20-minute spell or just after the kickoff, and I thought they done well. But as soon as that first goes in for United, they just crumbled. It's crumbled and just allowed United to take control. But I think they'll be fine. I think Rodgers has got experience about dealing with, maybe not in terms of relegation, but definitely the other side of the league where he's won things in obviously Scotland and so close with Liverpool. I think he'll be able to get something out of this team. They just need a run of games and to try and hit 40 points. And what are they on now? What? 23, 24. Yeah. So it's a long way away to get that 40 benchmark where we call it the safety net. But I think they'll do it, man. I don't know what their fixture list is like, but I think they'll be fine. I do want to say though, I thought Sabitzer should have been sent off. I'll be real, man. I'm not saying it was a game changer, but I'm just saying that it was a bit of a mad challenge. And the VAR, I was on mute at the time, but the second Rashford goal was a bit sus.
Green line.
Just quickly. You see the Leicester game, right? Yeah. I took from that, right? If Almiron had a right foot, you lot would be in trouble, bro, because your left side got exposed, bro. Yeah, it's true. Time and time again. And I was thinking, if Almiron could use his right foot, we could do some serious damage, but he's so one-footed, it's embarrassing. Yeah, so you ain't got nothing to worry about in that respect. But if he had a right foot, you lot be in trouble, bro, because your left side is weak.
I think it's like Garnacho got hooked because he wasn't following the instructions. I mean, come Sunday, I reckon it'll probably be Rashford and Shaw down that side, so we probably won't be as exposed defensively. I think it just all depends on maybe like Anthony, like his fitness, and maybe Martial. But yeah, I don't expect to see Garnacho starting on Sunday.
Yeah, same. But on to another team, and this is the D&D footy derby. where Newcastle and Liverpool met, and for some reason, Newcastle can take points from every other team in this league, but Liverpool. Liverpool went there and won 2-0. It gave Liverpool fans a reason to again hate on Martin Tyler because apparently he wasn't enthusiastic enough about Darwin Núñez's goal. But they came away with a 2-0 win, so they should be enthusiastic about their points. Now, Dubul Dee, last time you were here,
I was having to cry, wasn't I? Last time,
yeah, man, it was more than therapy, man. I can't lie, it was a peak one for you, but you've got into a decent run of form. Well, a decent run of results. I don't want to call it form yet. Form for me has to be over a longer period of time.
Far from form.
Yeah, but you've got a decent run of results recently, and I looked at the table, talking about how poor I think Premier League teams are in reality, apart from a few. You are 2 wins away, which is 2 games in hand of being 1 point away or behind 4th place Tottenham. So, is your season? I mean, okay, you're used to challenging for the title in recent years, but is your season really going down the bin that badly, or like if you do finish in the top 4 somehow, do you see that as a semi-successful season, or would you just be annoyed regardless?
If you told any Liverpool fan before the season that they'd be out of both cups, they'll be facing their owners, yeah. We're on the plantation. Real Madrid are the owners, bruv. However good we play against Real Madrid, we just don't beat them. So if you told a Liverpool fan that before the season started, they would have said failure. So, but obviously as the season goes on, just like Arsenal never set out to win the league, it was just to get back in the Champions League, but now they could win the league. The objective changes as the season progresses. So, in terms of the way it's gone, the poor form, there's been some injuries as well. You've got to take what you can get now. So, yeah, top 4 is still a possibility. Do I think we'll get it? I can't really, I can't be confident about it because every time we've had the result, we look like, okay, we're doing something, we might be able to go on a little run, then we drop points. So, got to make sure we do something against Madrid. Then we've got a tricky tie coming down to the ends to face Crystal Palace on Saturday night. We think with these late Saturday 7:45 kickoffs or 8 o'clock, whatever it is. I've got a thing with them. I'm not really a fan, and we don't seem to do too well in them. But we'll see what we could do. Saturday, we showed attacking wise, we looked much more fluid, but defensively still, even when Newcastle went down to 10 men, if they just had a little more gusto about their play, they could have nicked one back with the 10 men, and then who knows what could happen. Alisson was far more busier than he needed to be, but I liked from the Bajic did okay again, but I liked what I saw in the attackers. The good goals we scored, nice goal for the finish by Darwin. I don't know why Trippier stepped away because he was in that nice goal there. The second goal, if you watch it from the start, Alisson rolls it out. Bajic, a little dummy, goes forward, plays it through Bedford. There's a great ball by Salah and a lovely control and finish by Gakpo. Him and Núñez interchanging was causing all types of problems. When we were really wasteful after that, very sloppy, gave the ball away too much. And if we do that against Madrid, we're going to find out. Benzema or no Benzema, we will find out the pace of Vinicius Junior, the pace of Rodrigo, and obviously they're getting much better technically as well than when they first came, and they were both quite raw, especially Vinicius. So there's hope for top 4 now, but it just makes you sit and wonder if they just won one of these away games where we've been getting clapped since the year turned around, what could have happened? But I'm not getting too gassed. This season, I said before the season even began, same time I said the stuff about Haaland with City, Liverpool have accumulated so many points in the last few seasons that there's going to be one season. They managed to come back when they had the injuries after winning the league and get third. But I was saying there's going to be one season where things might not come together and there could be issues. We've lost more games in February, 7, than we had when we won the league and the 2 times we came second to Manchester City by 1 point put together. Put those three seasons together, us losing 7 games, we've lost more than all those seasons put together. So there's problems there. Reinforcements need to be made in the summer. If they could get top 4 that are brilliant, that will help the reinforcements. For some of the people that they want, because of the fact of playing for Klopp, playing with the likes of Salah, etc., they would come. People may be able to come to Liverpool. Like if Bellingham comes, I'm pessimistic about that. But if he was to come, it will be because of the fact that it's Klopp, it's Liverpool. He likes Liverpool, though he's a Birmingham boy, and Steven Gerrard is his favourite midfielder of all time. It will be those type of reasons he comes. Not we won't hit the Champions League or not. But players outside of that, outside top four, could be kind of tricky because we're not lathered with money like some other clubs. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm not optimistic at all. I can't even say I'm quietly confident, but we'll see what happens. We're just going to take one game at a time because we can produce a attacking performance like we did against Newcastle, and then we can go to Palace and just get completely undone on the break. So it's a defence. We can minimise the defensive errors, the individual errors, and then we'll see what we can do.
Absolutely. And D-Man, obviously, of course, you guys were the home side. Liverpool done you again. It's a weird one though, because you've only lost 2 games this season. As I said, it's only Liverpool that's done you home and away. But you have mentioned that your results have been slowly dropping recently, but you haven't been losing. So when you look at that, I mean, I don't know what the expectation was this season. I don't think it was the challenge for the Champions League positions, but considering where you are right now and how good you've been so far, would you say it's been disappointing to just see these last couple of results, thinking that your team now is capable of much more, especially with the defensive line, because they didn't look as compact as they have been in recent time against Liverpool?
Well, first of all, let me say that my twin brother's a Liverpool fan, so you can imagine the abuse I'm getting at this present time. Yeah, and I do think Liverpool will make top 4. And I said, if Liverpool beat Newcastle, I think they will go on a run that everyone's expected City to go on. So I think they'll go on a mini run results and get them top 4. I don't trust Tottenham. Yeah, but I actually thought in terms of Newcastle's form, I called this as soon as the first half of the Leicester game when we won 3-0 on when was it? 31st of December.
Right.
I've said we struggled to score goals. Yeah, but we're now going on a drive run of form. Tried to score goals, and we're drawing too many games. Similar to how we started the season. We won the first game, then lost to Liverpool. Drew City lost to Liverpool, and then had 3 consecutive draws or something like that. I said this is basically symmetrical to the first half of the season, and I said we're not scoring goals. Like we scored like one here, nil-nils, one there, whatever. So it was quite concerning. So I predicted, actually on Saturday's show, I predicted Liverpool to win 2-0. Yeah. But what I was more concerned about was, given how badly we performed against Bournemouth the game before, I just wanted to see a better performance going into the final on Sunday. And I think we got that. Yeah. Bar the crazy 10, 15 minutes where we conceded to a Nick Pope, got sent off, we were arguably the better team. Yeah. Even with 10 men, we created as many chances. The difference was we didn't take our chances and Liverpool did. They took their 2 main chances and that was it. Alisson was probably their best player on the pitch. Say Maximin was our best player on the pitch, even with 10 men. Yeah. So performance-wise, yes, the Liverpool goals were good finishes, don't get me wrong. But as Dubul Dee alluded to, Trippier stepping up on both goals, he was at fault because he stepped up. Like, I don't know what he said. He stepped up too late, basically, in both goals, and both goals would have been offside. Yeah, but the killer for me was the Nick Pope incident. Yeah, what was he thinking? Because I think twice before he's come out and he's headed it as well. First of all, if you're gonna come out that fast, yeah, the ball's on the floor, kick it. Yeah, why are you trying to go down with your head? Yeah, and then basically try to play basketball in the middle pitch like it.
Dee, have you seen some of your fans are saying that he wasn't to send it off on social media?
Yeah,
man. I don't know for that.
That's just reaching. That's reaching. Because they realise that the Bradford can't play the League Cup final, so we've got carriers, which I don't really have a problem with it, to be honest. But it was you're 2-0 down. Listen, I'm not saying it wasn't a sure fight. There's no guarantee Salah scored that goal, by the way. Like he probably would have, but there's no guarantee. But even if you lose, if you concede the third, you get to play the League Cup final. Bruv. Use your common sense. Like it just didn't make no sense. So you basically killed the game with that sending off, and even then we created the best chance of the game after that. So performance-wise, I think it was encouraging, given how we performed previously. But in terms of results, it's disappointing considering how we started the season with the unbeaten run and stuff like that. To lose our home record as well was disappointing. But listen, put it into perspective. I have to think about where Newcastle were 12 months ago, and also what the season objectives were at the start, which was a top half finish and a cup run. We've exceeded it already. So anything from here is a bonus. My only concern is, and I think we discussed it with Dubul Dee on Saturday, Eddie Howe's previous, right? When electric the first half of the season, and second half of the season, it just goes to pot, like in a dramatic fashion. So if we lose that final on Sunday, I hope it doesn't have that long-lasting effect on the remainder of the season, because that can creep into the following season, and I don't need that. So, you know, where we are now, I'd be happy with a sixth place finish, because I don't think Chelsea can catch us. So you're looking at Arsenal, Man City, Man United, Liverpool, Spurs. Those 5 teams should be finishing above us. But other than that, I don't think any other team, including Chelsea, at this present time, should be finishing above Newcastle where we are, given where we are. So I think that gets us Europe, and you know, we can build on from there. We know the summer we're gonna spend will be a lot more attractive proposition than we were last summer. So, you know, it's Saturday evening was a bit of a depressing one. Sunday pretty much, but today a bit more positive. Not necessarily for the final, but putting things into perspective. And remember, we didn't have Bruno Guimaraes. We never won a game when he doesn't play. Never. So since he signed, since he started playing, so we haven't won a game when he's been missing. So, you know, you have to put things into perspective.
That's the question that I was going to ask you as well. Where's your confidence for the final? Are you feeling slightly confident? What's the
a lot less confident when I was a few weeks ago. If we're gonna win it, it's gonna be a 1-0 or penalties, because I think we will try to frustrate Man United. We should, bar carriers, we should have our full strength team back. He won't play St. Maximin from the start, which I think he probably should have done, because he turns up against big teams. He terrorized Manchester United last season as well, at home as well. But I think he's going to go more defensive with Willock and Joe Linton, and for them to interchange on the left-hand side. But I think we're a completely different team with Guimaraes in midfield. So that gives me some positive. And Karius isn't a bad keeper, bro. He had that little moment in Champions League final when he was concussed, apparently, when he had them howlers. But he's not a bad keeper. He's not a bad keeper. So my whole thing is, though, he hasn't played a professional game in a long time, and his chemistry with the back four might be the difference. But I just hope we don't get smoked, because I'm actually going to the game.
Is that you trying to convince yourself that he's not a bad keeper?
Yeah, he's a bad keeper, man. Trust me. Come on, man.
Listen,
there's a reason he's not played for so long. There's a reason.
That wasn't convincing. Like,
listen,
you can't
remember,
fool me. You can't fool
this
me,
Amazon
man.
documentary that we're making, you know, we're just making it more interesting. The redemption arc of Karius, bro. Trust watch. Yeah, then he's gonna be a winner.
Hey, Dubul, can you give him some something good about Karius? Have you got any good memories of Karius?
It all depends on how the game goes, because Karius is a good, well, as you said, that Champions League final, but he was concussed.
I'm taking it.
He's actually a good shot stopper. It's the other parts of his game. He's not the most commanding catcher, and he doesn't command his box the best in terms of catching crosses and whatnot. Vocal. He's not the greatest at coming off of his side, etc. But if they could restrict United and not get cut open,
Just don't give them corners.
So hold on. So what you're saying, literally what you're saying is stop Man United from taking shots. That's what you're saying.
That's it.
No, he's a good shot stopper. If they can stop them from getting cut, like Liverpool's goals, people not pushing out in time, so that people get one-on-ones with him, etc. If they can limit those, yeah, then
Which we will. We've got the best defence in the country.
Newcastle will. I think Newcastle are going to win it. I just think Newcastle are going to win it. I just think finals, just like something will turn up, and I think Trippier's going to look at the video. He's going to be disappointed with his performance on Saturday, and he's going to turn up and put some good balls in. And whether it's Isak or Wilson up front, I just think Newcastle are going to turn up.
No, it's Wilson. It's Wilson.
And their fans are going to be. You get what I'm saying?
Eddie Howe don't change a team, bro, unless he has to. He does not change a team.
Scored on Saturday.
Yeah, I know. Do you know if we win 1-0, do you know who's going to score the winner? Joe Linton. No, not long stuff. He's had his moment, bro. So is Dan Burn, bro. They've had their moments, bro. Joe Linton. Yeah?
Theo?
Joe Linton's going to score the winner.
Theo, what do you think as well, quickly, on the final?
I think Newcastle. I've been backing Newcastle the whole way through this thing. And the only reason I say that is because in a final, it's anyone's. It don't matter whose team's this, that, the other, and who's that. You could put Karius in goal and he has a blinder and he's probably man of the match. Do you know what I mean? So it don't matter. I think it's just who wants it more on the day. And I'm just confident. What is this, your first final in 18 years or something?
Since like I've been born, bro. Yeah,
there you go.
No,
So,
I'm joking. No. I'm joking. We lost back-to-back finals.
Last final with United in '99 in the FA Cup.
We lost back-to-back finals for United and Arsenal. Yeah.
Bloody hell.
So this is more. There's more at stake for Newcastle. I know Newcastle were never expecting to even be potentially in this final, and they're not meant to be where they are in the league. Let's be honest. They've done overachieving already, but on the final, it don't matter. All that form and players and this and that, it goes out the window. It's just who wants it on the day and who wants to score the goal. Can
I just say, I am not going to Wembley to see my team get embarrassed, bro. Yeah, because I'm going to the game, so I'm not. If my team gets slapped,
fan, I've seen it too many times.
You're coming in it. Yeah, you're tolerant. All of the man on Insta and that. You know what I'm saying?
You know what, man. I'm just gonna say this. If you guys, if we beat you guys on Sunday, there is a very, very, very high chance that as you walk to your studio on Saturday morning, you're gonna just see me around the area. Just gonna let you know.
Well, if Newcastle win, trust me, I'm going to get banned from Twitter. Yeah, they're gonna kick me off there. Yeah, trust me.
D, I'm not going to mention names, yeah, but Coach is the third person that has said either this Saturday or next Saturday they might turn up at the studio. I'm not going to mention. I know you have done this, but I'm not going to mention no names yet.
Is that you not getting on? Okay.
2 weeks.
15 as well. Your confidence in the final as well. What are you saying?
With finals, it's like 90 minutes in it. All form goes out the window. But listen, when you've got Varane, Casemiro in your side, you've got to be confident. I think Varane's lost one final in his career, which was the other day. Casemiro. Hey. None of that. Yeah, man, I'm confident, but no disrespect to Newcastle, but when I watch them, I don't think they're an amazing side. I think they're a well-drilled side, but I don't think they're an amazing side. I think they were riding that wave of run, scoring goals and whatnot. Callum Wilson's always a handful for any defender. I mean, he's fast, he's strong. He's not particularly clinical, but I think Bruno Guimaraes being back is a big plus for them. But again, the whole keeper situation, I don't even know if Joe Linton's fit. Again, I'm not really too high on Trippier. I think he's a shoddy defender. But I'm pretty confident, man. I'm pretty.
He's better than your right back, bruv. What? He's better than your right back.
I think Trippier's a defender, man. But
is he better than your right back?
No, he's not. He's not.
Wait, which one are you talking about? Wait, who are you talking about?
Any one of them. Any one of them. Dalot, Wan-Bissaka, any one of them. Yeah?
He's not better than Dalot, but Sunday we will find out, innit? Sunday we will find out. I mean...
Ooh.
Yeah,
fight talk.
Rashford.
But I said about pairing. I said about pairing is better than yours, isn't it? Wait. I said about pairing is better than yours, isn't it?
No.
Fabian Shaw
Statistically,
They haven't played the same amount of games. They haven't.
what?
They haven't played the same amount of games. So, for
Well,
instance,
if yours can't stay fit, that's not my problem.
it wasn't necessarily.
That's not me.
It's not a fitness issue. It's just not a fitness issue. But since Varane and Martinez have come in, they've been pretty.
They probably
solid,
still conceded more goals than Newcastle backline, no matter how many games they played.
Okay, fair enough. But then I think we probably scored more. True.
Yeah, that's a defense.
But we scored more.
Of course, your attack's better than ours, bro.
So it goes both ways.
You ain't got a midfielder better. You know, we better. Fernandez or
Hold on. We got Weghorst. So what's going on here?
Listen, he's scoring. He's scoring in the final. He's going to score.
He probably will.
will.
No, my luck.
Yeah, all I'm saying is that the referee, obviously we've got a VAR now, but the officials better be on point because the last time Man United were in the League Cup final, Southampton got robbed. Yeah, and I won't let it back. Yeah.
But if the rest were on job, Man United would only have 6 league titles. Let's be real, bro. Yeah? Let's be real. Yeah? Back pocket money, brown paper bag, FA in the pocket, scared of Fergie. Yeah.
Refereeing decisions, yeah. Did Sancho not have a penalty wrongly disallowed when we faced Newcastle the last time?
Didn't Wilson have a penalty wrongly disallowed against you lot last time? We should have been 1-0 up. What? You forgot that though, innit?
No,
He shouldn't have. No, he shouldn't have.
Oh, okay.
For forgetting the disallowed goal that Ronaldo scored, you know, when your player took it and then the referee thought like...
What, when the rest... No, but those are the rules. Wait,
no, it's not
wait. Yeah, wait.
All I remember is Man United being 2-0 down to Tottenham in the 2008-9 season, and
here we go.
Some dodgy penalty when Aurelio Gomez touched the ball and Carrick went down. For Howard Webb to come out 10 years later and say it was the worst referee decision of my life. Like gives Liverpool a flipping title. Fuck off, you bald-headed fuck.
Hey, listen.
You see, may I tell all of you, man. I love this. This is bring me more. Give me more.
Listen, when the playing field is level, when the playing field is level, yeah, you ain't winning these titles, bro. Yeah, when the playing field is level, you ain't be winning these titles, bro. Yeah, when Fergie could bully everybody, yeah, and you could outspend everybody, boy, it was a different story.
Where was this talk when you guys stole a point?
Yeah, called bribery.
Season where Aguero scored the winner. Where was your talk then? We're coming for you.
That was the greatest moment of my life.
I hope that VAR's not working and we mess you up on Sunday. That's what I hope, yeah? There you go. I want Rashford to slap it in with his hand. There you go. On Weaver's Island-esque.
They don't really allow it the way things are going for Rashford at the moment. They allow it, man.
Why not?
That's true, man.
Why not? They blocked him with the stupid one against Wolves when he should have had another one. But hey, man,
Twice.
It is what it is. What was that?
I said twice it's happened to him. He had the one against Everton as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, the last word for me is if I'm giving Rashford any advice, go to the right side of the pitch, swing your left foot and straight at Karius. Hopefully he will not catch it and it'll go into the back of the net, but we'll see. Other than that, also when he's about to roll the ball out, just stick your right foot out and it'll just roll to the bottom corner as well. Because that's
this guy.
But anyway, Dubul Dee's gonna fight me later on. I know.
Who remembers De Gea against Brentford? Yeah. Anyway,
you might want to think twice about coming to the studio, coach. You might get stuff.
All right. Anyway, let's wrap it up there because I know it's gone past 9 o'clock and certain people are gonna watch a certain show, of which people are on an island full of love, and
we've all abandoned this winter one.
I was a Love Island veteran from the day dot, and I can't even watch this one.
Yeah, no, this one is shocking, but I've got someone that lives here that also wants to watch it, so I've got no choice. But anyway, so I'm just trying to big up. I'm just trying to talk loud because she's literally there. So anyway, for everyone that's watched us and that's listened, thank you very much for listening and watching. Thank you for always giving love to the podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. You can always find us on your audios and all your YouTubes and all that on 3inMidfield Podcast. That's your socials as well. Of course, before we go, we'll let everybody plug themselves and everything that they're doing, any channel that they're on. We're gonna start with 15. Where can they find you, bro?
Literally, you can find me on Trafford Tunnel. That's the YouTube. That's the YouTube channel where we discuss all things Man United. You can follow me on Twitter on South15M, and that's pretty much it, really.
There you go. And please do like us and subscribe to their channel as well, because they do some great stuff as well. Especially if you're a Man United fan. Trafford Tunnel is in the name, so you go and find some great content there. Dubul Dee, please plug yourself.
My own handles, if you can't see it on the interface, is at Dubul Dee, DUBULDEE, and I'm of course part of the D&D Footy Factory with D-Man and Big Sam, and our handles at DD Footy Factory _, and we go live on Top FM 95.5 FM on a Saturday morning at 10 a.m. If you're not in London, probably best to listen to it on the TuneIn or the Simple Radio app. That's on Top FM. Just tap that into your search and you can get it.
Absolutely. D-Man, he's plugged the channel, but of course plug your personal as well if you don't mind.
Yeah, my Twitter and Insta is at illphenomenal25. So that's phenomenal with an F. And if you can't spell it, you can't follow me.
Very simple. And finally, Theo, where can they find you, sir?
Yeah, so as you can see, at From the Shed End, that's the Chelsea channel, the YouTube channel. And then my other channel that I'm building up slowly, Style of Play. So at the Style of Play Football as well. And then my personal is T.podcast. So yeah, Twitter, Instagram, all of that stuff.
There you go. Of course, you guys have been great. Thank you for joining me. I am your host, Kojo. One more time, episode 235. No pot of magic for Chelsea. Sorry for you, man. Maybe next week, man. Maybe next week.
Who do you have next week?
Who do you have next week, actually?
Tottenham.
Spurs.
Yeah. Before the final as well. Before the final. So
yeah, man. I am going
for the main event.
I am absolutely going to watch that game. Right. Good luck with that one. Peace out, guys.